Alright, we're going to start it off with all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Yahweh being the name Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the name of his only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, Yahweh is in the Paleo Hebrew because the Israelites, they wasn't speaking no English, and names don't transfer to these other languages. See, a proper name is always the same, just like the Honda. In China they calling it Honda, in America they calling it Honda. Just because they speak in two different languages, that proper name don't change. Same thing with Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh means he exists or he become, and Yahweh Shai means he delivers or he saves. You see, so these names don't change, especially out of the Hebrew. Now, I'm gonna start from the beginning, from Genesis. We talking about Armageddon because it's an issue that's going on. I'm gonna start at verse 3. It's chapter 3. It says it's Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. Now, when you're looking at Genesis, you got to understand how it was written. So before you get into it, you got to go to 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra chapter 14. It's going to tell you about Genesis. It says in verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shall you declare, and these shall you hide. So when Moses was writing Genesis, he wasn't writing these things to show everybody. Let me go to the end of 2nd Ezra to get the context of that. Verse 40, this is 2nd Ezra 14 and 45. It says, And it came to pass when the 40 days were filled, that the highest spake, saying, The first that thou have written publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But 46, but keep the 70 last, that thou may deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. So only the wise among the people was going to understand the situation. Only the wise among the people was going to get the secrets that Moses was writing down. Now when you go into Amos chapter 3, verse 7, it says, Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants the prophets. So only the prophets is going to be able to reveal what's going on in Genesis. So let's go ahead and get it. Genesis 3 and 1. Now, it said, Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field Now these beasts that was in the field, these were men. See, men are considered beasts in the Bible. That's why you got at the end, they talking about the beast, because this is considered a man. Now when you go into, let's see here, verse 15, it says, this is Genesis 3 and 15, it says, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So he made a separation. You had a beast who was a nation. They was more subtle, meaning they was more wicked than any person or nation on the earth. See, and then when you get to chapter 6, this gonna bring out another one. Chapter 6, it say, well, you know what? Let's get chapter 5 before we get to chapter 6, to let it be known this beast was just another nation. It says, this is the book of the generation of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day which they were created. See, he called their name Adam, just like the nation of Israel. All of the 12 tribes is known as Israel or Israelites. Same thing with Adam and his nation and his family. They was all known as Adam, the Adamites. You see, so that beast was another nation. That beast in the field was another nation that was more wicked than all the other beasts of the field. So when you go into Salakia, my phone freezing up. When you go into Ezekiel, he expound on the situation. Ezekiel chapter 31. Now he described Adam, or the nation of Adam, as a Lebanon tree. It says in verse 3, it says, behold, the Assyrian was a cedar cedar tree. The Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches. So to get right to the point, men are categorized as trees also. That's why you had a tree of knowledge and good and bad, and you had a tree of everlasting life. See, Adam represented that tree of everlasting life, and the other nations with this serpent nation, the wickedest nation, represented the tree of knowledge and good and bad. And that's why they coerced Eve to eat from them and listen to what they were saying. But it goes on to say in verse 6, it say, all the fowls of heaven made their nest in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwell all great nations. So these other nations, these great nations, was beasts. See, they was other beasts that was in the field. They was great nations. To get right to the point, to let it know who it is talking about. Verse 8, it say, the cedars in the garden of God, see, the garden of Eden, could not hide themselves. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree of the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty. Same thing with the nation of Israel. See, they can't hide, because people see that they're greatness. They see that they are great people. It says in verse 9, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees in Edom that were in the garden of God envied him. So now these other trees envied that cedar tree, which was the nation of Adam. So you had the nation of Adam, and you had other great nations in the garden of God, the garden of Eden, and they was envying that the Lord had made his branches fair. made his nation great. They was envying the nation of Adam. So that gives you the context of how everything started off. God chose a nation from the beginning with the nation of Adam, and all the other nations was hating on him, just like he chose the nation of Israel, and all the other nations was hating. Okay, so when you go into, let's see here, chapter 6, because this is going to give the context. Chapter 6, starting at verse 1, it said, it came to pass, this is Genesis chapter 6, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, who are the sons of God? See, these are the sons of Adam, the chosen tree that had fair branches. See, that tree of life. They saw the daughters of men that were fair. They saw the other nations, and they started seeing that they was beautiful. See, this is not talking about some freaking fallen angel, the angels in the sky, or the angels all around. They seeing that the daughters of men were beautiful. See, that's not what it's talking about. It say the sons of God, and it's talking about the nation of Adam, because that was the context. It says, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Okay, so this is why the nation of Adam fell, because obviously he didn't want them to take these other nations' wives. He wanted them to stay amongst themselves. That's why when he gave him Eve, he said, flesh of my bone. Hold on, let me just go and get that, because people don't understand that situation either with the rib. Because he made a statement, and that statement meant that he was only with his nation. He was with only his women. What is it, 23. Yeah, 22. Let me start at 22. It says, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, not just that one Adam, the whole nation of Adam, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So these nation of the Adamites, they was going and getting with these other people, other women that was in the other nation. And the Lord obviously want him to be get with the bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. That statement is talking about family, talking about the same bloodline. He went out of the bloodlines that the Lord had set up, because he made this separation. Back in Genesis 3 and 15, he said, your seed, well, he made an enmity between the seed of man and the seed of Adam. See, let's go back to 3 and 15. Since Eve had went and listened to the other nations, he made this declaration in 15. He said, I will put enmity between you and the woman. And he talking to these other nations. So he put an enmity between the other nations and the nation of Adam. So now you got them going to mess with these women that was of the other nation that was beautiful, and the Lord had put an enmity between them. So this is why the nation of Israel fell, or the nation of Adam fell. This is why they got kicked out of the garden. Now when you go into I think 1 Peter, he talks about when the nation of Adam fell. Okay, let's see here. It might be 2 Peter. Bear with me just a second. Yeah, I think it's 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 2. It says, for if God spared not the angels that sinned. See, these angels was the sons of God. These were the nation of Adam, because they was over all of the other nations, ruling over the other nations, like the nation of Israel. It says, for if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. Now let's look at who was cast down to hell. Lamentation. This is the hell that he's talking about. Not no under the ground with no fallen angel with horns on his head. Lamentations chapter 2. It says, this Lamentations 2 and 1. How have the Lord covered the daughters of Zion? It says, with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel. See, he cast down those angels who was his messengers to the people, was the nation of Adam. So they was cast down. It's another one. What is it? Jeremiah. Let me see. Jeremiah 3. No, 5. Jeremiah 'Bear with me 1 second. I got this Jeremiah verse that talks about the nation of Israel being in hell. Isaiah, not Jeremiah. Isaiah chapter 5. It says, I'm going to start at verse 13. Therefore my people are gone into captivity, means slavery, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell, see, this condition of slavery, hell have enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, he that rejoices shall descend into it. See? So the nation of Israel was in the condition of hell, meaning they was in slavery. They was dead bodies, pretty much zombies walking around in somebody else's country because they belong in their own land. So this is what it's talking about. Those angels was cast into hell. Let's go back to 2 Peter. Because it ain't talking about some fallen angel. It's talking about the nation of Adam. Okay. It says, but they was cast down to hell, meaning the nation of Adam now had to live amongst the other nation. It say, and delivered them into chains of darkness to reserve them unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. So Noah, out of all of those people, he was spared. See, he was a part of the nation of Adam that the Lord spared. Just like the nation of Israel, he spared a remnant. Or he gonna spare a remnant. So he didn't gonna destroy the whole nation. He gonna spare a remnant. Same thing with the nation of Adam. He spared a remnant and brought them through the flood. And so those angels was Noah. See, all of the angels wasn't cast into the so-called hell or the grave or killed in the flood. So it's giving you a comparison. Noah, the angels and Noah. See, the ungodly and those of the old world that was wicked. It was not talking about no fallen angels that disobeyed God and went to sleeping with the women. See, that's a fable and a lie, and it gets you off the path and the pattern that God done set up. So that nation of Adam is the same situation as the nation of Israel. So now you got to get to the second situation, because that was the first death that happened, and it's going to be a second death, because we getting around to that Armageddon. That Armageddon is parallel with that second death. Now when you go into Genesis 25, starting at verse 21, it says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. See, that's that war. See, that's that enmity in that war. And that war ain't just a small matter. Them struggling in the womb, that's very significant. He said the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Now, when she went to inquire of the Lord, that means he had a prophet on the scene so she can talk to him. Verse 23, it says, and the Lord said unto her, the Lord didn't come out the sky and go to talking to Rebekah. See, the prophet was talking to Rebekah. It says, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So this is when these 2 nations was rebooted. In other words, they had a rebirth pretty much. Because first you had the nation of Adam and the serpent nation that was envying the nation of Adam along with the rest of them. Now you got the nation of Israel, and you got this other nation. Let me go on. Verse 24, it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there was twins in her womb. So they was twins, but they didn't look just alike. Look at verse 25. It says, and the furs came out red. See, the furs came out with leprosy. See, it came out with a plague. It came out with an identifying mark, just like when Cain had an identifying mark. He marked Cain. It says, and the furs came out red all over like an hairy garment. Now he's red all over, but he ain't hairy. See, it says, and they called his name Esau. So now you got this war going on between Jacob and Esau in the womb. That's very significant. And it's the same issue that's going on that went on in the Garden of God. See, and let me get Songs of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, Salaki 8 and 8. Because this goes into Genesis, and this goes into what Moses wrote down and what Second Ezra wrote down. Verse 8, it says, if a man desire much experience, he knoweth things of old, and conjecture aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speeches, and can expound dark sentences. She foresees signs and wonders, and the event of seasons and time. So to expound on the dark sentences, see, because Moses was writing a dark sentence. He was writing a dark story, meaning it needed to be expounded on. See, you just can't read it and you're going to get the understanding. That's why in Daniel, he said the book was going to be sealed into the time of the end. And in Isaiah 29, it say the book is going to be sealed into the time of the end. And you had, Revelation 5, it said Yahweh was the only one that was worthy to open the book because the book was sealed. So these dark sayings that was in Genesis, they only can be expounded on by the prophets. That's why they still thinking, these so-called Christians still thinking it was one woman in the garden. It was one man in the garden. See, they still thinking it was two naked people walking around and a snake came up and talked to them. See, that's how you see the difference. See, the Lord got a major situation going on. See, they can't go in Ezekiel and break down why he was talking about the garden of God and these other trees being great nations. See, that it was other beasts of the field. They gonna tell you that it was two naked people. The Lord made two naked people and a snake rolled up and went to talking to them. See, that's how blind and dark, that's how in the darkness they is. See, when it was no naked people in no garden, it was no snake talking to them. But when you got somebody to expound on the dark sentence, now you have that understanding. And only the prophets can do that. He didn't allow everybody to peek in there. That's why he say, speak openly to everybody, but only give the understanding to the wise. Now, you got Jacob and Esau. They come out the womb and they fighting. He made a declaration after they was fighting in the womb, and Jacob wound up going into Egypt. When he went into Egypt, they multiplied, became a great nation. The Egyptians had them in slavery. He delivered them out of Egypt. So what happened when they got out of Egypt? This Exodus 17. What happened when they got out of Egypt? I'm going to start at verse, let's see here. Verse, where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. Where is it? But when they got out of Egypt, somebody was waiting on them. Oh, that's in Numbers. Let me go to Numbers. Let me go to Numbers 21 real quick. Okay, that's another situation. But I'm going to go back. Let me go back to Exodus 17. Because once they came out of Egypt, something happened. Somebody was waiting on them. Look at verse, let's see here, 7. Let me start at verse 7. It's Exodus 17 and 7. It says, and he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah because of the chiding of the children of Israel, because they tempted the Lord, saying, is the Lord among us or not? See, verse 8. Then Amalek, then came Amalek, Salaki. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Verse 9, it said, Moses said unto Joshua, choose us men and go out, fight with Amalek. Now I'm not going to read that whole account, but Amalek is the grandson of Esau. Just to identify who Amalek is. That's the grandchildren of the Edomites. Now verse 14, it says, this Exodus 17 and 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. So he already established that he's going to destroy the Edomites totally. 15, it said, Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh Nisi. Verse 16, so now he built the altar to make a declaration that he's going to destroy the Edomite. Verse 16, it says, for he said, because the Lord hath sworn that he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So now he's saying forever he's going to war with these Edomites. So when you look at first, they fighting in the womb, Jacob and Esau. They having a struggle in the womb. See, and then after that, when they come out of Egypt and the Israelites become a mighty nation, and he changed Jacob's name into Israel, he wrestled with the angel. They meet the Amalekites again, and they go to war. Moses built an altar, and he said that he swear he gonna have war with these Amalekites, the children of Esau. So this is the context of the Bible. It's a war between the Edomites and the Israelites. See, if you don't got that foundation from the beginning, the main idea, you're going to be lost throughout the rest of the book. Now, when you got another incident in Numbers 21, I'm going to start at 4, it saying they journeyed from Mount Har by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. I'm going to jump down to verse 6. It says, and the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Because they were speaking against God, he let them get bit by these people. Now mind you, it's saying that the serpents bit the people, but guess what? They was in around the land of Edom. He says, verse 7, therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, make you a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he look upon it, shall live. So Moses made a serpent of brass. You see that? So you had a red serpent, and you had a serpent of brass. See, what does that symbolize? That's why he said Yahweh shall have feet of burnt brass, because brass symbolized the Israelites, and the redness, which is Edom represented red or fire. That's why they had to put fiery in there. Now, that is a parallel to Deuteronomy 28, starting at 48. See, when he sent them fiery serpents, because not only that serpent in the garden was the wicked nation. See, these Edomites is the wicked nation. These Edomites is the serpents. See, they are the subtile nation, more subtile than any beast of the field. I mean, they more subtile like a snake. They more sneaky. They tell lies and they move like snakes. So he gonna send them just like the fiery serpents that he sent to the Israelites who was speaking against God. He's sending the Edomites towards the Israelites who disobeying God. So he told them, you disobey me, guess what? Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shall you serve your enemies, which the Lord shall send against you in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. and he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he have destroyed you. The Lord shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. So just like when they were speaking against Moses and the Lord, and he sent those fiery serpents, see, they was, mind you, they was doing this in the land of Edom, that was close by the land of Edom and the Red Sea. He sent the Edomites towards the Israelites to put they behind into slavery. See, he said, if you disobey me, you going into slavery under this wicked nation. This nation that ain't gonna care about nothing you got going on. See, and they gonna be a fierce nation. Let's get some details on it. Lamentations 4, starting at 18. It says, verse 18, it says, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. What you got, sundowning? You couldn't go in the streets at a certain time. When that sun go down, you better have your behind in that house, because the Edomites is roaming. See, they already seen that you done got let off these plantations, and they angry doing reconstruction. They was lurking. Then when the Israelites started waking up in 1910 in Harlem, New York, with the Harlem Renaissance, and Jack Johnson knocking them out, see, beating their great white hope, then you got the rebirth of a nation, of the Ku Klux Klan and Margaret Sanger. See, and when the sun went down, you better been in that house. It says, and they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. What did he say in Deuteronomy? He said they're going to be swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountain. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. See, when they was in the wilderness, who came? The nation of Edom, Amalek. Now when you jump down to verse 21, it tell you who they talking about. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. See, the Edomites is going to be the one persecuting them, being swifter than the eagle. See, and this is what Deuteronomy 28, 48 through 50 is talking about. That nation that was going to get sent to them was going to be the Edomites. What else was they going to do? Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again with ships. So they was going to be on ships, going under these Edomites, and they were going to be on some ships. The Edomites going to have them on some ships. By the way thereof I spake unto you, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you. So now no man is going to save these people. They're going to have to be under the Edomites, and the Edomites going to transport them on slave ships all the way over here to Babylon the Great, America. You see, that's that war still going on. Now when King David was ruling, let's see how that was significant when you're talking about these Edomites, and especially Amalek, because he said he going to war with Amalek from generation to generation. I'm going to start at verse 1. It's 1 Samuel 15 and 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Verse 2. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. See, remember when I say, as soon as they come out of Egypt, they wrestled in the womb, they went to Egypt and grew into a large nation. As soon as they came out of Egypt, who waiting on them? The Edomites. It says, verse 3, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. See, he told them to kill all the Edomites and their children and their babies and even their animals, because they like to sleep with animals. See, they ain't just started sleeping with animals. They've been sleeping with animals. And so this is what was going on. When they came out of Egypt, here come the Edomites. So that war that he sworn that he was going to have with the Edomites, he furthered it. Now King David had, once Saul got kicked out the kingdom, and because he didn't kill all the Edomites like Yahweh had told him to do. He told him to kill all the Edomites, and he gonna leave the king Agag, and he left some of the sheep. And Samuel went to Saul and said, hold on, the Lord told you to kill all the Edomites, Shalom. Why did you not follow the instruction? You disobeying the Lord is like witchcraft. And so he said, now David is gonna take over the kingdom. So when David took over the kingdom, let's go to Psalm and see what happened. And we gonna get right to the point when it comes to the Edomite. Psalm 52. Psalm 52 and 1, it says, a Psalm of David. When Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul, now he came and told Saul a bold-faced lie, because David, he had went and visited the temple, and he was hiding from Saul. So when he went into the temple, the priest, I guess, let him eat some bread or some kind of food, I don't know. Corn, I think he let him eat some corn and gave him some of the showbread. Or they allowed him to do it, one or the other. So the Edomite was in there watching. See, he was in there leaning back, watching the whole scene. And David had peeped him and seen him over there in the cut. He like, oh man, I done saw this darn Edomite. I know it's some trouble lurking. So this is what David said after the whole situation had went down, and he in the cave, I guess, running from the Edomites and Saul. Verse 2, he say, this is Psalm 52 and 2. He say, your tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good. See, the Edomites love evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. See, the Edomites love telling a bold-faced lie. See, they don't get no other rush than when they telling a lie. See, they don't care about no money and all that, man. They just want to tell an amazing lie. That's why you got the television and you got Hollywood, where they telling a lie. And they call it acting, but it's not. It's deeper than the acting, man. They love to tell a lie. That's why they the best actors. See, they gonna act on a whole nother level. You ain't gonna be able to know that they acting it's a movie, and it gets so bad where they be in the movie and they believe the stuff that they talking about. It says, Verse 4, you love all devouring words. See, love telling a lie. Oh, you deceitful tongue. Now, mind you, he's talking about the Edomites. He's not just talking about a random person that's walking around. See, he's not talking about all the nations or all the heathen. He's specifically talking about the Edomite and the Edomites as a whole. That's why when you go into verse chapter 58, Psalm 58 and 3, he says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. See, as soon as they come out, little bitty kid, they ready to tell a bold-faced lie. See, because it's in their genetics to tell a lie. Verse 4, it says, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. See, they was always categorized as a serpent, just like in that garden. You had the serpent nation and you had the nation of Adam. See, and they just was rebirthed as the nation of Edom. It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the death adder that stoppeth the ear. So you can give them all kind of evidence and all kind of proof. They still gonna push the lie. See, oh, that's misinformation. They'll get a lot of talk about misinformation. You can give them a direct quote from a so-called small hatter or a government official or a president, and they'll act like you talking crazy. That's a conspiracy. That's misinformation. See, because they want to go along with that lie. They want to push that lie and prop up that lie. See, now when you go into second Ezra, I want to get on this lie stuff because this is how they operate. Let's see, second Ezra, what is it? Let's see, 11. Let me get 11. 11 and 39. It says, let me get straight to the point. 11 and 40. Second Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world. Goodbye. What's going on? You got a question?
No, I don't got a question.
All right, now take it easy. It says, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world with great fearfulness and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. So now it's letting you know that this nation is wicked because King David said they gonna be, the wicked is estranged from the womb. Soon as they be born, they gonna come out speaking a lie. So the wicked is done took over the whole world. See? And now this wicked is ruling with much wicked oppression, and they ruling with deceit, with lies. See? They love to tell a lie, just like King David said they was gonna do. See, that's why he gave the kingdom to David. That's why he said he gonna rebuild David's kingdom, because David was to set the foundation. He set the foundation of what the war was all about. See, he didn't forget about it was a war between Jacob and Esau. See, he didn't forget about God made an altar and a sworn that he would have this war with Edomites forever. He didn't forget about this. Then what did the Edomites do? Let's go to, what is it? Psalms. No, not Psalms. 1 Samuel 21 or 2 Samuel? Okay, no. 1 Samuel 21 and 7. He said, now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg the Edomite, the chiefest of the herd that belonged to Saul. So when King Saul is chasing David, he got the Edomites right there with him. So really, the Edomites is chasing David. because the Lord put an evil spirit on King Saul, so he not the king at that point. He got an evil spirit on him. And then who come on the scene when he got this evil spirit on him? Who comes on the scene? The Edomites. He says, but no, that's some other stuff. Now when you go to 22, it tells you how these Edomites was gonna kill the priests. He says, verse 8, it says, now that this is 1 Samuel 22 and 8, that all of you have conspired against me. See, the Lord put that spirit on Saul, Saul paranoid, talking crazy. He says, and there is none that showeth me that my son have made a league with the son of Jesse. So now he mad also because Jonathan was in best friends with David. So he say, man, even my son, y'all ain't even told me my son Jonathan done got with King David conspiring against me. He said, there is none of you that is sorry for me, or showeth unto me that my son have stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait as at this day. Guess who pops up on the scene? Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul. So not only was the Edomites with Saul, he done set the Edomites over all of Saul's servants. So Saul operating, chasing David through the wilderness or wherever, through the mountain, but he got the Edomites with him. See, he got the Edomites over all his servants, and they chasing King David. It said, then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nod. So now he telling a lie. See, this is what the Edomites do. They tell a bold-faced lie. See, I saw David, he over there with the priest, and they conspiring against you. Let me get right to the point. It says, let me get right to the point. Oh, King Saul. He said he went to talking to the Edomites and told them what to do. He says, and the king said unto Doeg, turn thou and fall upon the priest. So now King Saul, after he done put the Edomite over all his servants, tell him to go kill the priest. And Doeg the Edomite turned and he fell upon the priest and slew on that day 45 persons that did wear a linen ephod. So the Edomites was told by Saul to kill the priests of the Lord. So that war is still going on. That war ain't stopped after King David or King Saul disobeyed him and then killed all the Edomites. They still came back and killed some of the priests, lying to Saul. See, they had done lied to Saul and told him that David conspiring against him. So then they coerced Saul to kill the priest. But this is how they do. They operate with lies. It says, verse 19, this is 1 Samuel 22 and 19. And the city of the priest, so the priest had a refuge city that people would go to. It says, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and suckling, oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword. So the Edomites didn't just kill the 80-something priests. They went to the city of refuge and killed everybody, women, children, killing the animals. See, because this is what the Edomites do. This is that war that was going on. The war ain't stopped. See, the war been going on since they was in the womb of Rebecca. And see, when you talking about Armageddon, you don't know what you talking about if you don't know what this been going on since the beginning. So you come up out of King David. Now you go into Esther. See, Esther was another example of the Edomites. Mind you, Agag, that was spared by King Saul, his son, one of his sons, was Haman. One of his sons was Haman in the story of Esther. Verse 1, no, not verse 1, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, after these things did King Azarias promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. See, the Edomite. So Haman was an Edomite, certified. And he dealing with Saul. What did Haman do? Just to get right to the point. Haman got angry at Mordecai. See, because this is the war between the Edomites and the Israelites. It says, and he thought, this verse 6, this Esther 3 and 6, and he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Azarias, even the people of Mordecai, because Mordecai was from the tribe of Benjamin, see, and Haman the Edomite, see, he said, let's destroy all of them Jews, man. I ain't just mad at Mordecai. Mordecai, that's just one person. Let me get all of his people. It says, verse 8, Haman said unto the king Azarias, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among all the people and in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. He says, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. See, so this Edomite, who was kin to them people that King Saul spared, and he supposed to kill all the Edomites, Haman, this Edomite Haman, say he want to kill all the Israelites. Verse 9 again, he said, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. Now that same thing as Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger said, let's kill all of these Negroes, see, because they the bottom of the barrel, and we need a good bloodline. So let's start this eugenics and kill every Negro that you know. But we don't want them to know about it. Let's get their cricket pastors, let's pay some cricket Negroes to go tell them a bunch of lies. He says, it's for the king and prophet to suffer them. So he said he's going to pay him some money. I'm going to jump down to 13. This still Esther 3 and 13 is saying the letters went, and the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews. See, and this is what they're getting ready to do in a close minute. See, when they see them troops on the street, they gonna know. It says, to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day. See, he wasn't trying to wait for a long time. We need to get rid of these people now. This is the mind of the Edomites, man. So let's see who are these Edomites. Let's get that. Because we talking about Armageddon. What is Armageddon all about? What are they talking about? It's a battle and a war of God. What is that about? Well, let's find out who the Edomites is. He said he gonna war with the Edomites forever. Well, let's see who he is. When you go into Maccabees, Salakia. Let's do we talking about Haman. Let's do the additions of Esther, which they took out the Bible, the history they took out the Bible. See, they had to take out the history so they can blind the people. Now, look at verse 7. It says, and the two dragons are I and Ammon. So now they calling Ammon a dragon. So we started off with talking about the serpent nation, and then we took it from the serpent nation to the Edomite nation, who was the wickedest nation in the world. It says, let's go to the next chapter. This is the addition to Esther, chapter 11, verse 6. And behold, two great dragons came forth ready to fight, and their cry was great. See, this is talking about these the Edomites that came before Haman, and they was trying to poison the king or do something to the king, and Mordecai alerted them and said, hold on, these two Edomites trying to kill you, man. So that's how Mordecai got boosted up in status. So they was being called great dragons way before Revelation. So when you go into 16 and 10, it say, for Ammon, a Macedonian. See, Ammon was a Macedonian, and he was an Edomite. So let's see Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. It says, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian. See, and we all know Alexander the Great was a so-called white man. See, he was a so-called Caucasian. See, now you get into who is the Edomites. It says, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten King Darius of the Persians and the Medes. See, because the great dragons was already trying to take over the Persians when Haman got caught. The other Edomite got caught. It says, and he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So the Edomites eventually came and took over the Persian. See, and Haman was the forerunner before they raised up Alexander the Great to come take him over. See, Haman was the first Edomite that was trying to destroy the Persians, but he wanted to get rid of the Israelites first. But then he failed, and they killed him and his family. Then Alexander the Great, he came up and he defeated the Persians. Now who was the Grecian? Let's get that. Because when you go into history, you got the Grecians, and they came and went to Jerusalem and took over Jerusalem. It says this is 1 Maccabees 5 and 3. It says, thus Judas, talking about the Israelites, then Judas fought against the children of Esau. See, the Grecians, Alexander the Great, they were the children of Esau. The so-called white man is the children of Esau. See, that's why you got a major war going on. That's the nation that was putting people on slave ships. See, sending them to another country or purchasing them and coming to pick them up on the slave ship and bringing them to another country and selling them for bondman and bondwoman. This was that, that fierce nation. See, this fierce nation that the Lord was going to send to the Israelites when they disobeyed him. The scriptures, which they tried to hide and take out, show that they are the Edomites. So when you go into further into that war, because the Esther situation, Haman and all his family got destroyed. They took over during the Greek captivity. So what was going on? How did they take over? Let's get some details on when they took over during the Grecian period, when they was so-called calling themselves Greeks, when they really was Edomites. When they took over, what happened? Let's see, first Maccabees, I'm gonna get right to the point. First Maccabees, I guess 41. This first Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41, it say, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all shall be one people, and everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yet many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. So now you got this Edomite, he telling everybody, listen, y'all got to be all Grecians, all Greeks. You can't be Israelites, you can't be nobody other than a Greek. So he said, this first Maccabees chapter 1 verse 43, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. Because you had Judas and his brethren, they was rejecting it and warning against these Edomite Greeks. He says, but see, then you had the other Israelites, they say, well, let's go ahead and join these Edomites, man. It says the Israelites consented to their religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Jump down to verse 50. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he shall die. So if you was an Israelite and you didn't conform to these Edomite Greeks laws, they was gonna put you to death. What else? Let's get second Maccabees. Second Maccabees chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live according to the laws of God. Verse 6, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So when the Greek Edomites took over, the Greek Edomites sent out he sent the man of Athens to tell the Jews, you cannot call yourself a Jew no more. You got to call yourself a Greek. That's why in the so-called New Testament, you got them saying, the Jews and the Greeks, y'all same people, man. Y'all ain't no different people. Y'all, it was against the law to call yourself an Israelite, or they will put you to death. So you had to call yourself a Greek, but you really is an Israelite, and y'all the same as these Israelites. Ain't no difference between y'all. Woman, men, y'all all the same. Free and bond, y'all all the same. It says in verse 9, it says, and whoso will not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. See, it was a death sentence on somebody talking about, oh, you an Israelite. You know you a Jew. You know y'all in slavery under the Edomites. See, you really is an Israelite and you're in slavery under the Edomite Greeks. See, they will put you to death for that type of stuff back then. It says, and whosoever would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. So this is what was going on. So when you come out of that, um, you got the Greek Edomites. They took over. Now then the Romans took over. Then you get into the New Testament. See, when the Romans took over, then you get into the New Testament, and this is when um, the Israelites was in another form of slavery. They was feeding them to the animals. They was being gladiators and feeding them to the animals. The lion, they was fighting lions and tigers. See, the Edomites had them doing all kind of stuff. Let me see here. Power. It's one. Oh, it's John. Let me get John. John chapter. John. It talks about these Romans. Okay.
Hey boss, how's it going?
All right. John.
I like this. I don't really care.
Let's see. Oh, Salakia. I meant to put world. Okay. It's talking about these Romans, and I like how they worded it. I'm thinking to John. Okay, there it is. Luke chapter 2, verse 1. It says, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. So when the Edomites, as Romans, the Edomite Romans, Caesar Augustus, he say, I'm gonna tax everybody. That's why Yahushua say, give Caesar things unto Caesar. Because Caesar done sent out a decree that everybody got to pay tax. So this is when the Roman Edomites, the so-called white man Roman Edomites, see, they had them sent out a decree, you got to pay taxes. You're not going to live in our kingdom and not pay taxes. So Yahushua and the Israelites were slaves under this situation. See, this war was going on when Yahushua was here. Okay. So you got Yahushua and the Israelites under these Roman Edomites, and then you got the Romans end up killing Yahushua. These Roman Edomites end up killing Yahushua, and then he went into he went with his disciples, and they went into telling the other Israelites what was going on. So you go to Apostle Paul. What did Apostle Paul say? Romans, let's go to Romans. Apostle Paul went to Rome, and he went to writing letters to the Israelites in Rome. Let me get that in verse chapter 1. It says, this Romans chapter 1, verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from Yahweh our Father and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach. So now they Now you got Apostle Paul. He looking for the Israelites, especially the ones that was told that we gonna put you to death if you try to say you an Israelite and you living in the Greece Edomite land or the Roman Edomite land. See, you better not call yourself no Israelite. So Paul, he writing them a letter, and he say, to all that be in Rome, to all who? All that's called, the Israelites. And they called to be saints. See? Now, when you get to chapter 9, he go to talking about the whole point of the scripture. 9 and 11. Well, let's start at verse 10. He says, and not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. So he's bringing up the major issue that is what the scripture stand, not of works, see, but of him that called it. So it wasn't about what Esau did. See, it was bigger than what Esau did. It's the fact that God got a purpose, that he gonna war with the Edomites forever. See? And then Paul brought out Genesis 25 and 23. He says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. So Paul went straight from talking about everything belonged to the Israelites. Then he goes into the belly of Rebekah and said it's a purpose that God had to do all of this. Then he said, the elder shall serve the younger, to let you know that prophecy still stands. Then he went to Malachi 1 and 4 and said, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. See, the war is still going on. After the Pentecost and all that crap, after Yahushua done died, came back, a bunch of people done seen him, Peter and all the apostles done got together, all kind of stuff done happened. See, Apostle Paul still talking about the main issue is the Jacob and Esau. So that war between Jacob and Esau, it never ended. And they never got rid of no Edomite. That's a lie. If some Edomite tell you that they got rid of them, they telling a bold-faced lie. Now it says, let's see here. Still talking about this war. Oh, verse 17, that goes into this war. See, he says, this Romans 9 and 17. Say, for the scriptures have said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up. So the Lord got a purpose why he created the Edomites. See, and now he got a purpose why he raised them up. Why did he raise them up? That I might show my power in you. See, how he gonna show his power? He gonna war with them. See, he gonna have a war with these Edomites. And that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So now his name gonna be declared once he destroy these Edomites, once he destroy the so-called white man. See, once he revealed that they are the Edomites, and they done made up some false name of white people, whatever the heck that means. See, in 1681, they come out and talk about, oh, we're white people, and all of the white people, and this gotta be 7 white people. It gotta be, what he say? It's gotta be 7 to 1. For every Negro, it got to be 7 white people. They went and put it into the law, and now they start calling themselves white when they was Edomites. See, they been Edomites, and always gonna be Edomites. But they trying to hide their identity. But the Lord raised them up to show his power, so when he disposed them and let everybody see, oh, these people got a false identity, calling themselves white when nobody is white. See, they really red, and the Edomites are red people. So when you go into Jeremiah, because this is what Apostle Paul, another one Apostle Paul pinpointed, or he became laser focused on Jeremiah 49, and he talking about these Edomites. He said, but I have made Esau bare. See, he gonna expose that they not no white peoples, these are Edomites. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. See, they trying to hide. We're Caucasian, European. We're Anglo-Saxon. See, they got all kind of identities and disguises that they're trying to hide behind. When really they are Edomites. They've been Edomites forever. It says, his seed is spoiled, his brethren, his neighbors. See, and that neighbors is another one. That just stands for brothers. They tried to change neighbors from being brothers to somebody that live next door to you so that Christian church can make sense. Once you call neighbor and you change the neighbor from being brother to neighbor to meaning somebody live next door, now you can preach to all the neighbors and you got to love everybody. See, that's just going along with their Christian false doctrine. It says his seed, so it's talking about seed, his brother and his neighbors, all that is the same, not somebody that's next to him. And he is not going to be able to hide himself. See, the Lord done made him bare. That's why they ready to bring martial law, and they got all these people coming across the border, because they know we done exposed they behind from being Edomites. See, that's been warned with God forever. Now, let's go into Paul, Apostle Paul. He brought them back up in 2 Thessalonians. Well, you know what? Let's get 2 Thessalonians. Then I'll get that Ephesians, because Ephesians, that's what Ephesians talking about. But Negroes been raised in these Christian churches, listen to these Edomites, and they want to talk about a kingdom of demons and all this kind of crap, which don't exist. Just a figment of their imagination. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means. Oh, we're Caucasians, white people, Anglo-Saxons. It says, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. Meaning the nation of Israel was going to lose their identity. They was going to go into slavery, kicked out of their homeland. It says, and the man of sin be revealed. See, there's no such thing as a white person or Caucasian or European or any other kind of name. Their real identity is an Edomite. It says, the son of perdition, meaning the son of destruction. Why? Because they kingdom destroying the whole earth. Let's get that real quick and tie that in, and then we're going to go into Ephesians, because this tells you why they the son of destruction. Jeremiah 51 and 25, it says, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, meaning destroying kingdom, says the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. See, they destroying all the earth. That's what perdition means, the son of perdition, or the son of destruction. The Edomites destroying the whole earth. It says, and I will stretch out my hand against you and roll you down from the rocks. Because see, they live in the clefts of the rock. That's why they call them Caucasians, because the Caucasus Mountain. It says, and will make you a burnt mountain. Now what does that parallel? Just to let you know, he talking about the Edomites. which that's Jeremiah 51, which is after 49, which we're talking about exposing the Edomites. So it's all about the Edomites. But 35 of Ezekiel says the same thing, verse 3, to get right to the point. Well, verse 2, Ezekiel 35, verse 2. Son of man, set your face against Mount Seir. That's why he said destroying mountain, because they was known as Mount Seir. The Edomites lived in Mount Seir. It says, verse 3, no, it says, set your face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Verse 3, and say unto it, thus says the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against you, and I will stretch out my hand against you, and I will make you most desolate. See, because Mount Seir stands for the Edomite, and the Lord is against the Edomite. He's going to war with them forever. So the son of perdition is talking about the Edomites. See, they destroying the whole earth. Now when you go back to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, verse 4, to further identify these Edomites. It says, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sit in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. See, that's why they put up all these pictures that's showing white Jesus, when that was a bold-faced lie. Now verse 80 say, and then shall that wicked be revealed. So now he's identifying them even further. The son of perdition and the man of sin is that wicked. That goes back to Malachi 1 and 4. See, Apostle Paul, he brought Malachi 1 and 4 out in Romans 9. Then he brought Malachi 1 and 4 out again in Thessalonians, talking about the wicked. Now he's going to further go to talking about the wicked in Ephesians. See, and this is why you can tell who he's talking about. Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6, and I'm going to get the wicked first, then we're going to jump back up. It says in verse 16, it says, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. See, he's talking about the Edomites. He's not talking about just a random nation being bad, breaking some laws which they never had. He's talking about these Edomites, the so-called white man. Now when you jump back to verse 11, you know who he's calling the devil. See, he's calling these Edomites the devil. He said, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. See? And he talking about not just one Edomite. That's why he said in verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. See, we're not just talking about one Edomite. This is about their whole nation. It says, but against the principality. The principality is their government. He said against powers. See, power stands for government. Against the rulers. A ruler stands for governments. Not no fallen angels and all of that fairy tale crap. It says, the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness, that will go to wicked again, in high places. See, the so-called white man is in all the high places of the earth. See, the NATO and the EU, that's the top military in the world. They is in the high places, and they doing all the wickedness. Killing, rape, robbing, and murdering. See? Now, that was talking about we got a war against these people. And that he get that from Jeremiah also. Let's go back to Jeremiah 28 and 8. He says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdom. See, the kingdom that's great and that's ruling is that destroying mountain, Mount Seir, the Edomites. This is their kingdom. And it's a great kingdom. That's why they call Babylon, America, the great city. It says of war. See, we prophesying about the war. That's what we talking about when you go to Revelation and it's talking about a war, a battle. That's why Yahweh says it's going to be rumors of war. Wars, and then it's going to be rumors of wars. While those wars going on, it's going to be rumors of another war. See, in World War I, they had a rumor about another war. World War II came, then they had a rumor about another war. It says, and of evil and of pestilence. See, this is what the prophets always came. When Jeremiah came, they was in Babylon, and he was prophesying against Babylon. When Ezekiel, see, he was prophesying against a kingdom. All of the prophets came to prophesy against the kingdom, which is the government of these other nations. So now let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's see here. Now you talking about this Armageddon. Let's see, I want to come from let's get Joel 3. Joel 3. It says, verse 3, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I will bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So now the issue is the captivity and Judah and Jerusalem. Now when you go in and you plug in Joel 3 and 2, you gonna see all kind of theologians talking about the second coming when he gathered the nation. But see, him gathering these nations is talking about the slavery of Judah and Jerusalem. That's when he gathering the nation. And what he gathering them to do. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. See, and that plea is talking about he gonna go to war with Abraham, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So he gonna go, now he finna go into a list of things on why he finna war with these nations. See, why? He didn't just go in Joel and say, I'm gonna gather the nation and it's gonna be a big war. See, he didn't do that. He gave you the reason why it was gonna be a big war. See, he gave you a reason why it was gonna be a battle. But you get a Christian and a pork chop eating pastor, he gonna tell you that act like he just gonna gather the nation and it ain't got no reason to do so. He just gonna gather the nations for his respect. No, it's bigger than that, man. Verse 3, it says, they have cast lots for my people. How did they do that? On the auction slave blocks. See, when they was on the slave block, they said, going for 25, 25, 25, and Negro to Master Johnson, $50, $50, $50 to Master Smith. See, they was auctioning off people. They was casting lots. They had a bill, what you call it, a bill of sale. You had a bill of sale. I got 4 wenches, and we selling them to the plantation down there in Antigua. See, I got 3 other bucks, young bucks, we gonna sell them. This is what he warned with the nations for. He gonna give more stuff. He said, and have given a boy for a harlot. So now they even selling the little boy. See, they prostituting the little bitty boys, which they love to do. See, when you looking for a pedophile, you better know you finna find an Edomite on the scene. See, if it's a pedophile somewhere, ooh, they got a whole society of pedophiles. It says, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. See, the wine that was being sold is that rum that them slaves was making out of the molasses when they were chopping down the sugar cane. And it was mainly those women, they was getting those women to go down there and chop up the sugar cane. And he said that they might drink because that was a major commodity. See, they were selling sugar, but then once the women started making them rum out of molasses, now rum became a great commodity, and they start selling that stuff so they can drink it. That's why you had George Washington. He going on a campaign, and on his campaign he say, if y'all gonna vote for me, I'll give you a bottle of rum. Everybody vote for me, I'll give them a bottle of rum. Because that was a great commodity that the slaves was producing. It says, verse 4, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? So that's giving all of the players that was in the trading his, selling his people, Israel, and it was giving all the characters on who was contributing to parting that land. Because not only was they selling the Israelites on a slave ship, see, on the auction block, they went over there to the people's land and took over the land. So now you got the land and you got the people working for your behind. He says, will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. So he said, oh, you trying to pay me back? Because I chose the nation of Israel, and I didn't chose y'all wicked thinking behind. He says, this is Joel 3 and 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant thing. Verse 6, he say, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. Now those Grecians, down in verse 19, let you know those Grecians was the Edomites. There's no such thing as a Grecian. See, that's just a name of a landmass. Those peoples are Edomites from Esau, children of Esau. And that's why the so-called white man was the one selling the tribe of Judah and the other Israelites. Because guess what? The Mexicans was being hung more than the Negroes. See, the Mexicans right now, they're in the what you call it, the grape field. They're in the almond field over there in California. See, the Mexicans in the field more than anybody, man. They can't deny that those Israelites. It says, verse 7, behold, I will raise them up out of the place whether you have sold them. See, this is the part of it. He gonna plead with these other nations. See, when he plead with them, he just not gonna have a war with them. No, he's having a war with them so he can raise the Israelites out of the place where they were sold, in the land of their enemy, on an auction block. It says, I will raise them out of the place whether you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So they gonna be raised up out of the place that they was being sold, and then that recompense is gonna be, they gonna have to go do what exactly the Israelites did. And here it is in the next verse. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters. So now you had some people on the auction block and in your cotton field and your sugar cane field, but in your Walmart plantation, in your Winn-Dixie plantation, in your factories, in the railroad, in the prison system, working for pennies, and now guess what? You gonna have to go in the same operation. He says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. So when he plead with these nations, he gathered these nations and he plead with them, he gonna sell them into slavery. See, that second coming and that gathering these nations is all about selling them into slavery. He's not gathering them to have some kind of paradise, man. He's not gathering them to forgive them from their sins. He's gathering them to throw they behind into slavery because they threw the Judah and Jerusalem into slavery. See, this is why he's gathering the nation. It says, I will also sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. Then when you look at history, he never sold no Edomites to no children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem. The Edomites was never sold on no auction block. See, that was only Negroes and Hispanics and Native Americans. It says, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans. So the Hamite African, they gonna be the taskmaster to these Edomites. See, the Hamite African sold the Israelites that was hiding out in their land, being their little servants and in their prison system. They sold the Israelites to the so-called Edomite white man. So now he gonna sell the Edomite white man to the Judites, and they gonna sell him to the African. So that's how the Lord operate, man. Say when you talking about war and you talking about strategy, he created it all. So you ain't nobody gonna top him. So now it identify who these Grecians was in verse 19. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah. What kind of violence? See, they was feeding them to alligators, sending out postcards with little babies with an alligator holding on to the baby drawers so they can catch the alligators and make alligator boots, belts, wallets, pocketbooks. See, this is what the Edomites, this is the kind of violence they was doing. Then you can't go outside at nighttime. You might get hung by the KKK. What else was going on? Shoot, the Mexicans was getting hung more than anybody, man. See, they acting like they white people. The Mexicans was being hung more than any Negro in America. When you would get down there in the Texas border and all of that area in there, they was hanging them Mexicans like no tomorrow. But they think they're some white people because they got straight hair. Your straight hair don't change nothing. And that's why they don't, one drop of any kind of Negro blood and they gonna reject your behind. Now let's go ahead and get Revelation 6:16. So like Revelation 16 and 14. It says, for they are the spirits of devil working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. And see, that battle is not talking about just World War III. It's including selling these Edomites in slavery. This is what it's about. Making the Hamite Africans be slave taskmasters. See, overseers on the plantation. This is what it's about. He's not gathering these nations to just have a battle. Verse 16, it says, And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Now, we're going to jump back. Salaki. We're going to jump back to Revelation 12.
What's up, homie?
Hey there. Oh, what's going on, folks? Revelation 12, it says, verse 3. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. Mind you, in the book of Esther, what did he say? These two great dragons. So the Edomites was always called great dragon. So this is who it's talking about. Then verse 4 let you know specifically who is this great red dragon. It says, and his tail drew the third part of stars of heaven. That means the tribe of Judah, which is Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, the southern kingdom. These three tribes was in Jerusalem when the Romans came, or when the Greeks, the Greeks came and took over. Because first the Persians let them go back into the land. Ezra in the 66 books, it tells that. But so when the Grecians let them, when the Persians let them go back into the land, then the Grecians went down there and took over. Then the Romans took over. Okay, and so this is when Yahweh coming out of the womb. When he coming out of the womb, is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in the land. So that's why he say his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. The stars of heaven was those 12 stars that was on the woman. Those 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, and did cast them to the earth, and see that cast them to the earth is all talking about slavery, man. It says, and the dragon stood before the woman. See, the Edomite Romans stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered. See, that was Herod and the rest of those Edomites. They was waiting on Yahweh, and then Herod had done sent the people out to go hunt them down. That's why they fled into Egypt to go hide. He say, for to deliver her child as soon as it was born. So as soon as they was born, this is when the Edomites was ready to pounce on them. See, they were ready to devour that child. So those Romans was Edomites, and the Edomites is that red dragon. So when you go to verse 9, it said that great red dragon was cast out. Now where was he cast out? See, it says in verse 8, it says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. They was in the sky with their airplanes and they fighter jets. See, they helicopters and drones and satellites. See, they got all kind of stuff in the sky. But see, back then when they was writing the King James Version, heaven means sky. See, heaven don't mean you up there with God. It means the sky. So when they say the great red dragon fell out of heaven, it wasn't talking about he was up there with God and he fell to the ground. No, he fell out of the sky because he was having war with Yahweh and the angels. See, and Yahweh kicked they behind and they fell to the earth. It says, this Revelation 12 and 9, and the great red dragon was cast out, that old serpent, see, the wickedest nation, the most subtle beast on the earth. It says, called the devil and Satan. See, the so-called white man is called the devil, meaning he is a deceiver, he is a liar. That's why King David said when the Edomites was born, And as soon as they come out of the womb, they telling lies because this is what they love to do. See, that's why King Saul, they told King Saul that lie, and he believed them. It says, um, called the devil and Satan. Now in the Old Testament, you ain't finna find no devil, and you ain't finna find no Satan. It's called Satan, meaning adversary. See, even the so-called small hatters who call themselves Jewish people, they'll tell you in the Old Testament, you ain't gonna find no devil and no Satan nowhere. The only thing you gonna find is them talking about an adversary military. You gonna see, only thing you gonna find is the Edomites fighting against the Lord and his people. That's the only thing you gonna find. And this is why the next statement is said, which deceived the whole world. How did he deceive the whole world? He was trying to hide himself. Let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah tell you what he was trying to do. Let's see, verse 8. No, verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? So he hiding stuff. See, that's why he say he's a Caucasian, he's an Anglo-Saxon, he's a European, he's a so-called white man. See, this is why they say all of this, because they hiding their identity. And this is why the Lord say, how are you going to expose him? How is his hidden thing, the stuff that he's hiding, how is that going to be exposed? So you go back to Revelation 12. Because once you hide something, now you can deceive people. See, when you hide your identity, you deceiving people. It says, called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. See, they called the devil and Satan. This is not who they are. They just being called these names, a liar and an adversary of God. That's all they being called, those names. But they deceiving the whole world because they done made up a story. See, and that's what Hollywood and these stories tell our vision, telling a lie. See, this is why they come up with these stories, because they just tricking your brain, making you think it's a angel, a rebellious angel that done fell out the sky. He fighting against God. See, that's a lie. It's talking about humans on earth that was warned against God and his people. Let's jump down to verse 12 and get straight to the point. Verse 17, to let you know what it's talking about. Verse 17, he says, and the dragon, see that dragon, was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. See, ain't nobody on earth, ain't no angels popping out of nowhere fighting against these Israelites. See, that ain't happening. Only people fighting against the Israelites is the so-called white men, and who are the Edomites, who are the red dragon. It says, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua Hamashiach. See, because and then they trying to put themselves as the remnant of the seed, these Jehovah wickedness and these fake Christians. They don't keep no commandments. They don't believe in keeping no commandments. So the dragon can't be fighting them. They are the dragon. See? Let's go back to Daniel 7. Because this is another way that how they fighting against the Israelites. Verse 25, it's Daniel 7 and 25. It says that he shall speak great words against the Most High. How is he speaking great words against the Most High? Oh, the laws is done away with, and the Israelite. God and his laws and his people, he done did away with all of it. See, this is how these Edomites and these other nations speak great words against the Most High. He says, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. See, he done convinced all these Negroes and these Hispanics and Native Americans, oh, y'all don't keep those laws in that book, man. And that's not about y'all, and y'all he done did away with them people. He don't deal with them people no more. He only deal with a Christian church. See, then he say, what he say? They wear out the saints, what he say? They shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. See, the time, they done totally changed that. Now people going by a clock. See, God ain't never go by no clock. He went by the moon. The moon tell you what time it is. Even the sun tell you what time it is. People went by the sun and the moon because he set them up for signs of the time, what time it is. When the sun is straight up, you know it's 12 o'clock. When it's going down, you know it's around about 6, 7 o'clock. See? But they done changed that time and got you walking around with a clock on your hand. Then it say he changed the laws. Now you can eat a pig, crab, lobster. You can do anything you want. The Mosaic law is dead. You don't even have to worry about the Mosaic law. Just go in somebody's church and run your mouth and get them some money. And you will be straight. This is what the pastor got people doing. When God ain't never changed no law, it's that fourth kingdom, which is these Edomites, the so-called white men, they pushing that crap. That's how they deceive the whole world. And that's how they warn against the remnant of the children. Because that seed just stands for children. It's a remnant of the children of this chosen nation that is being deceived and being warred against by these other nations, mainly the so-called white men who are the Edomites. And see, they trying to hide their identity. That's how they deceiving everybody. Now, when we talking about the war of Armageddon, it's just a war that's been going on. Now, they try to say, oh, the Edomites is done away with. Well, hold on, see, because in Numbers, he gave a prophecy, and the prophecy let you know what that war was going to be about. Numbers 24 and 16, he said, which heard the words of God and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty fall into a trance. So God had made this man fall into a trance. But having his eyes open, he said, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not near. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. That's talking about Yahushua, who they even call Jesus Christ. He gonna come out of Israel, and he gonna have a scepter. He gonna be the king. Verse 18, it says, and Edom shall be a possession. So these Edomites is not gonna be done away with. They mixed into the Israelites and all this kind of crap. No, they gonna become slaves when Yahushua come with that scepter and that power. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So when he come, these Edomites is gonna be here. So it ain't no they done away with, or they some Arabs or something else. Verse 20. And when he looked upon Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nation. See, they was the first that was gonna rule out of the stomach of Rebekah. You had Jacob and you had Esau. They warring in the stomach, struggling, fighting each other. And he said the older son was gonna serve the younger. The older son was Esau, the Edomite. So he gonna have to serve the younger, but he was the first to rule because he the eldest son. So he was getting that, he was given that first rulership. Now let me go into that because this is the reason that they fight. And this is the reason why these Edomites hate our guts. Because they mad about a blessing that they got the bad end of the stick. Genesis 27 and 29 to get right to the point. No, 26. It says, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment. That means he smelled his clothes. And he blessed him and said, see, and smell of my son is the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. So the Esau, he was a man of the field. See, he liked to go hunting like the so-called white men. They always out there in the woods with camouflage on, hunting deers and rabbits and every other kind of thing. So he thought his mama had him thinking that that was his son, his wife, Rebecca, had him thinking that Jacob was his brother. Because he said, put on his clothes and put this around your neck, and your daddy gonna think that you Esau. Because Esau was the eldest son, he was supposed to get that blessing. So he say, Verse 28, he said, therefore God gave you the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. So now he's telling him that you finna get the blessing and you finna have the heaven and the earth. This is what the first heaven and the first earth is all about. That's that first rulership of the Edomite, or those two children. He says in verse 29, let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brethren and let your mother's sons bow down to you. So the nation's gonna have to serve whoever have that first blessing. But look at what happened when Esau found out. See, he walked up on the scene. He said, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great, exceedingly great cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father. So the Edomites was mad, man. He said, man, you done blessed Jacob and ain't give me a blessing? He said, bless me. So let me jump down to verse 38. He said, and Esau said unto his father, have you but one blessing, O my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. See, he was crying like a baby. 39. He said, Isaac his father answered and said unto him. So Isaac is saying unto the Edomite, behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So he pretty much say, you gonna be ruling the heavens and the earth. All of that is gonna be your possession. Verse 40, he says, and by your sword shall you live. See, the so-called white man, his military is how he's ruling. See, he's not ruling like we gonna rule with spiritual power. See, he gonna turn us into immortals. We gonna have immortal bodies, and we gonna rule with spiritual power. We're not gonna rule with a bullet, and we're not gonna rule with muscles and all this kind of stuff. We ruling with spiritual power. He said, where is it? He said he's gonna rule by the sword. He says, and you shall serve your brother. So he's saying that declaration in 25:23, where he said the elder shall serve the younger, you still gonna have to serve your brother. He said, but it shall come to pass when you shall have the dominion. That dominion is that rulership. See, it says that thou shalt break his yoke from off your neck. So the Edomites was gonna break Jacob's yoke off the neck. King David had them as servants. See, when King David was ruling, the Edomites was their lookout, with his lookout men. And he had them put them to work. But this is why they so mad about this blessing, and they gonna try to kill every Israelite they see and they find. Verse 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. See, this is why you got the so-called black and white issue in the world. Because these people are mad about a blessing in their spirit. See, and people they dating the other races and don't know that them people hate them in their spirit. You can talking about, oh, I love you, baby, and all that crap. No, you don't know there's a spiritual war going on. 42, he say, and these words of Esau, her eldest son, was told to Rebekah. So the mama heard, oh, you trying to kill my son, my younger son that God gave the major blessing to. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, your brother Esau, as touching you, he comfort himself. See, these people comfort themselves when they hang a Negro on a tree. They still hanging people, man, in 2022, 2023. It says, behold, your brother Esau as touching you, do comfort himself, purposing to kill you. See, and this is what we telling our people, man. In these last days, these people are trying to kill you. That's why Yahweh shall say, it'll be no flesh of the elect saved if I don't crack that sky and come down here and grab them. Because these people got all kind of plans on how to kill your behind. See, and I got to crack that sky and come and deliver them. That's my whole purpose. He saves, he delivers. Yahweh shall. He is coming to save somebody. Because these people are desiring, and this is what Armageddon is about. Now, let me get Ecclesiasticus, because this is the issue with most of the 2/3, the ones that ain't gonna make it, because they worshiping these white people, man. They believe everything come out their mouth. And worship just goes back to respect and love and admiration. They admire these people. They've been raised up with them in their society, and they done got a love for them. They call it Stockholm Syndrome, where the captor, he fall in love, or he get a love for his freaking captor. He captured you and kept you captive for 10 years in his basement, and now the police come finna shoot the man. You talking about, no, don't kill him. Don't kill him. Say, this man had you in the basement for 10 years, man. Why are you trying to love this man? So anyhow, this is what the Lord said about these people that's going to love these people. He said, never trust your enemy. See, they done came up so much where they trust their enemy. Even though he mistreating their behind and working them from sun up to sundown and discriminating on them in every shape, form, and fashion, they want to trust them. It says, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. See, iron might be shining and all good for a little bit, but guess what? That iron, it gets some rain on it, it sit there for a little bit, here come the rust. Verse 11, and this is what get most Negroes in a Spanish. Though he humble himself and go crouching. See, he act like the Chinaman. He do what the Chinaman do, but he really do it with his mouth. See, he humble himself and go to crouching and acting like he humble, which that ain't what he really is. It says, though he humble himself and go to crouching, yet take good heed of him and be aware of him. See, and like when they was pushing that poison and trying to get these Negroes to take that poison. Oh, we're coming to help you. It's a disease. It's flying bugs in the air, which that's a theory, the germ theory, just a theory by a freaking Edomite back in 1800s when they was all hanging Negroes and doing experiments on women and doing all kind of wickedness. Talking about if a slave run away, they call it Dracomania. If he run away, he got a disease. These same people talking about it's a bug flying around that'll get you sick. See, a theory, it's a germ. See, they don't use that philosophy and brought it to these Negroes, and they trust just because it came out their mouth and they got a white jacket on. Here, take this. Put this in your mouth. Put this in your arm. See, they trust their enemy. 400-year hardcore enemy. Let me get 12. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 12. Set him not by you, lest when he have overthrown you, he shall stand up in your place. Neither let him sit at your right hand, lest he seek to take your seat. He did that with the Native Americans. He say, and thou at the last remember my word, and be pricked therewith. So now he say the whatever he's telling these Negroes, is my phone going dead?
No, like I'm in a healing spirit. Like, girl, everything you just told me.
Hold on, I think
showed me like this shit. I don't even think this. Everything you just showed me and told me, like you didn't even know.
Salakia. 1 second. I don't know why. You see these people?
Like, I don't know.
That gotta be these. How my phone just go dark all of a sudden? But anyway, I digress. The phone just go dark now. Mind you, I got 40% on my phone. How you just go dark? But anyway, this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It say, "Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near a wild beast?" So now he's saying, who gonna pity you when you trust your enemy? Who gonna pity you when your enemy do the Rasputia on you and say, "Here, open your mouth," and he put something in your mouth, and you swallow it like he put gold in your mouth? Who gonna pity you? You trusted the man. You put the crap in your mouth. This man, you know this man don't like you, and he gonna just swallow whatever he give you. See, it says, "Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?" There go that serpent again, all the way from the garden. See, and that's what how Eve messed up. Eve wanna trust the other nation. See, she wanna go and trust what the other nations are saying, and Adam, the men of her nation, telling her, "Don't go deal with them people, man. The Lord told us to stay amongst each other and only deal with us." No, Eve want to go out and eat the fruit of the other nation. It says, verse 14, so one that go to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? See, you go out and you hang with this drug dealer. He got 3 pounds in the back with some AKs and some ecstasy pills. He riding around high and drunk. See, you jump in the car with him. Now, when you go behind the jail and you know he got all these drugs and weapons in his car, who gonna pity you, man? Nobody gonna pity you. You say, why you got in the car with this guy? You know he got drugs. You know he's a gangster. You know he's got weapons in the car. You gonna jump in the car with him. Now y'all all going to prison for 30 years. And nobody gonna pity you. But now this goes back to these Edomites. Verse 16, still in Ecclesiastes 12. He says, "An enemy speaks sweetly with his lips." So he pretty much saying these Edomites, man, they gonna sweet talk your behind. See, we love you. Come on, me and Billy, man, we don't hate anybody, man. We love you. See, we went to school together, man. We love you. Say, yeah, right. You don't love nobody. Wait till it becomes numbers. You get 10 of y'all and 10 of us, and see where the love is then. See, they gonna start poking their chests out. What y'all wanna do? See, that spirit gonna get in there behind then. But one-on-one, they gonna speak sweet to your behind and act like they your friend. It says, an enemy speaks sweetly with his lip, but in his heart he imagined how to throw you into a pit. See, he thinking, I'm gonna throw this person in a pit because this joker, he pretty much is thinking it's safe, but he don't know that I'm trying to throw his behind in the pit. It says he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. He say, if your adversary come upon you, you shall find him there first. No, he said, if adversity come upon you, you shall find him there first. You shall, he said, and though he pretend to help you, yet shall he undermine you. So he gonna pretend to help you when he your enemy. He gonna be sweet talking you, talking about, man, we're here to help. We trying to help you. See, and the whole time, he's planning on your downfall. Let's get it. King David talked about these Edomites. After he talked about Doeg the Edomite in Psalm 55, around about verse 21. He said the words of his mouth. See, he didn't say they, well, he could have said they mouth. Still would have been the Edomite. Say the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. See, they talking sweet words even though they're your enemy. But war was in his heart. See, he gave the Native American 400 some treaties, and he still came back and got they behind. 400 treaties. 400 plus. See, he making all kind of treaties with the Native American Indian, but he had war in his heart the whole time he making the treaty with them. He says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So he talking soft, he talking smooth to the Native American Indian, and he finna kill they behind and throw they behind on reservation. That was his whole plan anyway. Where we at? About 60 years, 120. Yeah, so this is what that war is all about, man. It's between the nation of Israel, the children of Jacob, and the Edomites, the children of Esau. Let's get Isaiah 13 and 14. It says, and it shall be as the chase roe, and as the sheep that no man take up. They shall every man turn to his own people. That means it's going to be major race wars in America. The Chinese going to stick with the Chinese. The Arabs going to stick with the Arab. The East Indians going to stick with the East Indians. The white man going to stick with the white man. The Negroes going to stick with the Negro. It says, they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. He says, every one that is found shall be thrust through. So if you found, you're going to be killed. And every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So you holding hands with your slave master, and you going to fall by the edge of the sword with your slave master. See, you got a bunch of Negroes over here, and you talking about, oh, I'm going to stay with my slave master. Why you Negroes fighting against the so-called white man? See, you going to be done for. They going to gut him, and they going to gut you too. That's how it's going to be in Babylon the Great America when that battle break out. Because that battle is not between no angels. See, Yahweh Shai and his angels gonna come fight the fallen angels and their angels. No, it's not gonna be on no level like that. It's gonna be men fighting with men. Let me get it. Is Zephaniah 9 and 13 or Zechariah? No, Zechariah 9 and 13. See, this is what that World War III Armageddon is about. It says, when I have bent Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim, and raise up your sons, O Zion, against your sons, O Greece, and made you as a sword of a mighty man. So it's going to be the so-called white man against the Israelites. Let's get it in Ezekiel 24. Or is it 25? I think Ezekiel 25, 14. It says, Ezekiel 25 and 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, says the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Let's jump to Jeremiah 51 and 20. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. See that World War III? It's gonna be nothing nice. For with you will I break in pieces the nation, and with you will I destroy kingdom. See, he gonna be destroying these kingdoms with the Israelites. Revelation 5 and 10, we getting right to the point. This is what the war is gonna be about. It says, and have made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. See, we gonna come into rulership. We gonna start to reign. This is Revelation 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation. See, we're going to have power over these heathen. It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. See, we're going to be ruling over them. It says, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. We're going to break these heathen. See, that's what that World War III Armageddon is going to be about. Us breaking the nation. Us getting that power. See, because this is what the elite is trying to do anyway. They trying to hit you with a device or some kind of tracking device, some kind of situation where they control your behind. They want total control. See, but that control is not going to them. See, they're gonna reach out and try to get the control, but then they're gonna see that it's just a trap. And then the control gonna be given to the nation of Israel. Let's get it in Zechariah. Zechariah 12 and 8. Because it says it right there in Revelations 2 and 26 and 27, but it's deeper than that, and because it's gonna give you to identify who's gonna do the breaking. This is Zechariah 12 and 3. It says, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. So now the Israelites is going to be that stone. It says, all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth gather together against it. This is what these people don't understand. Everybody gathering against the Israelites. That's why they bringing troops over the border. That's why they got all these martial law plans, talking about some public terrorists, domestic terrorists. See, because they know that the Israelites is going to rise up and take over. And they've been against the Israelites. But this is when they're going to do it. Verse 8, Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. See, we're going to be destroying these nations. See, it's not going to be a war between some freaking angels. It's going to be a war between the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites, and the so-called white men in these other nations. That's the war of Armageddon. That's what it's going to be about. Now, where is it? I just had it. Let's see. Daniel, let's get Daniel 2:44. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. He's going to set up the tabernacles of David, the Israelites. He says, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people outside of the Israelites, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. That's what he said Jerusalem was going to be, a burdensome stone that was going to break all of the nations into pieces. And that's the stone that he's talking about in verse 35. It says, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain. Mountain stands for kingdom. That stone became the nation of Israel, a kingdom, and filled the whole earth. So that stone, that burdensome stone of the Israelites, was going to break all of these kingdoms in pieces. So Daniel 7 and 18. This is what Armageddon, World War III, this is what it's about. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. See, that's what this Armageddon, World War III is about. The world is going to gather, the Lord is going to gather the nation, and he going to pay their behinds back for the transatlantic slave trade and every other captivity we done been in. See? And then we gonna break these nations with a rod of iron. And that's when we gonna take the kingdom. He says, but the saints, which are the Israelites, of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. See, this is what Armageddon, World War III, the battle, this is what it's going to be about. Because guess what? Ain't really going to be too much fighting with these other nations against each other. Because look at what it says in Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. So that's man to man fighting each other. See, most battles is like that, like the Battle of Armageddon. But the Battle of Armageddon ain't gonna be like that. See, it says, but this, see, this Battle of Armageddon shall be with burning and fuel of fire. See, this is gonna be with burning and fuel of fire. Because they gonna have nuclear missiles coming to blow these American Edomites. They gonna blow they behind the smithereens, man. Ain't gonna be no fighting with these American Edomites. After the battle of chaos and all kind of stuff go on in that great tribulation that's in Babylon, because there's gonna be some killing going on. But after all of that drama, these other nations, they gonna blow this place up, man. In the midst of that drama, the Israelites gonna get beamed up, and they gonna blow this place up. Let me end it with that. Then we gonna take the kingdom and possess it. 11 and 12. During that great tribulation, it says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them. See, all hell gonna break loose in America. People gonna be fighting and killing each other all over the place. And then they gonna hear a great voice. It says, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. See, the ones that are these other nations and the 2/3 Negroes that want to love the other nation, this is what's going to happen to them. They're going to be looking up saying, well, why are they getting delivered and we got to stay down here when these missiles is coming? It says, in the same hour was there a great earthquake. What's called that great earthquake? Those nuclear missiles, Satan 1, Satan 2, that Putin and the rocket man over there, and the Iranians, and the China man, all of them, they gonna be shooting missiles, man. That's how it's gonna be a great earthquake. See, Apostle John, he got the vision, all he's seeing was the earthquake and all kind of drama. He don't know what caused it, but we know what can cause an earthquake. See, a nuclear missile. It says, when they getting beamed up in the air, it says the same hour was there a great earthquake, and let you know this ain't no symbolism. The 10th part of the city fell. So the Babylon the Great America, it fell into 10 parts. When you look at FEMA, FEMA got 10 sections. America is chopped up into 10 parts. So it's going, when those nuclear missiles hit, it's going to separate America totally. It says the same hour when the great earthquake, the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain men 7,000. That's the number of completion. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to God of heaven. They was affrighted when they looked down and they saw America being blown to smithereens. Now, Revelation 5 and 2 give you another look from a different angle. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. See, they're going to be up in the sky and they're going to see America looking like a sea of glass, meaning you standing on top of something you can see through. And you're going to see fire down there. It says, and them that got the victory over the beast, over his image, over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, see, looking at the fire down there, playing the harps of God. See, they're going to be delivered while all of these wicked people marching in Pride Day, talking about their LPGT, whatever K, and got a Pride t-shirt and a Pride flag, see, Pride month, all this crap, putting pride all in the schoolhouse. See, that they're going to be destroyed by nuclear fire, just like Sodom and Gomorrah when they want to do all that same sex stuff back in Sodom and Gomorrah. See, the same thing is going to happen in Babylon the Great America, consumed by fire, nuclear fire. It says,
so knock on the door, or we're saying right while it's still open?
Stand on the.
It's still open because when it closes, it's going to be too late.
Already too late, pretty much. It says they're going to be standing on the sea of glass, those elect men that was crying and sighing about the abominations done in Babylon the Great America. Let me go ahead and get that. Ezekiel 9 to show who going to be delivered. It says, verse 4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So the men on the corner sighing and crying, these are the men that he's going to put a mark on. He says, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, meaning kill. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young. They're going to be killing old people and young people. Both maids, meaning young women, and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. So the men that sighing and crying against the abomination that's in America and these other nations, they gonna have the mark to be delivered from the nuclear holocaust. Everybody else, they won't be exempt, especially if they're in America. Now, if they're in another country, they might survive and go into slavery. But if they in America, they gonna be burnt up. Let's go ahead and get it. Malachi 4 and 1, it says, for behold, the day come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yeah, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up. And the Lord of says the Lord of hosts, and it shall leave neither root nor branch. Now how they gonna be burned up? Let's get some details on that one. Zechariah 14 and 12.
Magic, no, side.
It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their hole. Their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now, how can your flesh consume away? And how can your tongue consume away? And how can your eyes? That means a fire is going to consume your body, and that fire is going to consume everything, and you're going to be standing on your feet at the same time. That means a nuclear missile is going to hit and spread out. Fire going to be everywhere and consume your flesh, your eyes, and your skin. That's the only way somebody going to be standing on their feet, and their eyes, their skin, and their tongue going to burn up. And that's what's going to happen to these proud Americans. See, these Americans that are not like little kids. See, little kids, they prideful sometimes, but most of the time they got 1,000 questions. But what's happening? Well, what's going on? See, but a proud American, see, these jokers don't got no question because they so proud, they know it all. But they gonna know it all in a minute. But that's what Armageddon is all about, man. It's all about slavery. It's all about the Israelites taking the kingdom. See, it's all about vengeance on these heathen. That's what King David said in Psalms 149. The execute the punishment written. See, the judgment written on these other nations for the slavery that they participated in. See, the persecution and the pretty much devouring the nation of Israel. This is what World War III and Armageddon is going to be about. But I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.